Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Monday, June 28th, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Well, happy Monday, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your weekend, and welcome to the final week in June and the lead-in to the 4th of July celebrations in the area. Might even be a short week for some of you, and actually, next week, we will be having a short week for us. We're going to be taking off the 5th, just so you know. Okay, we do need to get back into the swing of things, so shall we? This first story comes out of the Y of Annapolis, right there on Ritchie Highway at the entrance to AACC. Back in March, a parent observed his child sitting in the lap of a young male employee who was engaging in unwanted sexual contact with the child. The father immediately pulled the child away and notified the Y, who in turn notified DSS, who in turn notified the police, who in turn investigated. The sexual contact was confirmed with video evidence. The Y made sure the employee had no further contact with the children once they learned of the accusations. However, they will not confirm if he is still employed or not. Last week, the 23-year-old male from Severna Park was arrested, formally charged with a fourth-degree sex offense, and released on his own recognizance. Now, this is a misdemeanor, not a felony. However, police are asking anyone that has any information or may know of any similar incidents to contact them at 410-222-4733. Keep your butts out of the bay. That is the message from Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley and Annapolis Green. The two have paired up to spend some grant money to install special cigarette disposal receptacles around town. Butts collected in the specially marked receptacles will be sent to TerraCycle to recover the plastic in them that can be used to make other things. The grant also pays for pocket-sized ashtrays, which will be given to smokers to encourage them to hold on to their butts until they find an appropriate disposal receptacle. This is another prong in the mayor's initiative to make Annapolis plastic-free, and currently styrofoam is banned, and they are currently working on a plastic bag ban as well. Apparently, there was an earthquake on Friday with the epicenter in Woodlawn in Baltimore County. It was a 2.6 magnitude quake at about 3:40 p.m. I didn't feel a darn thing. Did any of you? If you are a fan of comedy, perhaps slightly demented comedy, put December 21st on your calendar. If you have a morbid fear of clowns, don't put that date on your calendar. On December 21st, Ram's Head On Stage is bringing Puddles Pity Party to their venue on West Street, and I am sure it will be a very quick sellout. I already have my tickets, so you want to go get them if this is something that you're interested in, and you should be, unless you have that morbid fear of clowns. Not sure, just Google him. I saw him at the 930 Club a few years ago, and it was one of the funnest nights I've ever had. Again, Puddles Pity Party, December 21st at Ram's Head On Stage. Get your tickets now, and if nothing else, just Google him. Really an hysterical act that'll be coming right here to West Street. And as we wrap up, if you are listening to this just as it releases, remember that the city is closing down Compromise Street from Eastport into the city, Green Street and Newman Street, beginning at about 8:30 a.m. this morning till about 3 p.m. Why? This is for the dedication of the new memorial for the slain employees of the Capital Gazette, which happened exactly 3 years ago today. If you can, please attend. The ceremony is at 11 a.m. at the park right there on Compromise Street, and the city expects more than 300 people, and notably absent from the VIPs is our own governor. He is continuing his tour at Downey Ocean, as they say. If you are unable to attend, please make it a point to stop by and just reflect upon it at some point fairly soon. In other Capital news, the trial for Jared Ramos, the man who has admitted killing the five, will have opening arguments in his trial beginning tomorrow, and that trial, again, is to determine whether he was legally sane when he carried out the crime. Finally, I hope you caught the local business spotlight we dropped on Saturday with the gang from Zachary's Jewelers. And if you or someone you know has passion, they may have a career for you. You want to make sure you check that out. But last week I teased about some prizes for that episode. Now, I have 4 pairs of Baysock tickets, 2 gift cards to Chesapeake Real Ale Brewery, and 2 gift cards to Mother's Peninsula Grill. Now, one of the guests on that podcast had a very unique last name. I just want you to DM me on Twitter at IonAnnapolis or email me at info@ionannapolis.net by the time tomorrow's episode releases and tell me what that unusual name was. Spelling will count. And if you're correct, you can have your choice of one of those prizes. Remember, these are business spotlights and they drop every noon, every Saturday. If you know of anyone that wants to join the fun, let me know who they are or tell them to get in touch with me. Hey, and thank you for subscribing and leaving us ratings and reviews. We are getting more and more and more of them, so thank you, and it really does help us. If you haven't had a chance to do that, please take a moment and do it. It really does help us grow, helps us grow up in the rankings and all that kind of good stuff. Plus, it makes me feel good. Don't forget, you can now catch the Daily News Brief in the streaming format on Annapolis.fm or at WAKIRadio.com over there on the Eastern Shore, so you want to check them out. Okay, that's about it for the news this morning, but first a quick thank you to the sponsor for the day's Daily News Brief, Solar Energy Services up in Millersville, and to the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company, and Rehab to Perform, who's going to be opening up at 1750 Forest Drive very soon. Alrighty, it is Monday, so we do have Ann Alsina from CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report, as well as George Young from DCMDVA Weather. He's here with your locally forecast weather. George and Ann are coming up in just about 60 seconds, but first, here's Rick.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. With all the talk of energy resilience in the news recently, I'm surprised there's not more talk about solar plus batteries, especially since 1/3 of all of our new residential solar projects include a battery backup system that provides instant energy security and peace of mind. And with incentives in place for battery backup, this investment is now more affordable than ever. With financing rates as low as 0.99% and plans offering 18 months same as cash, it's now easier than ever to go solar with no money down. Financing creates an easy bill swap scenario where you replace your electric bill with a loan payment, allowing you to build equity in your own personal energy supply. Don't wait for your next power outage to act. Contact us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net to learn more about solar with battery backup. Don't wait another minute. Sunshine's a wasted.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Monday, June 28th. The weekend was a fairly nice one across the Annapolis region, though it did bring a return of higher humidity, warmer temps, and a chance of rain, which will be the main theme for the week ahead. Look for humid highs in the 90s today through Wednesday with a small chance of PM storms each day, followed by mid-80s to low 90s Thursday and Friday, with an increased chance of rain each day, ahead of low to mid-80s and more rain chances for the first weekend in July and the July 4th holiday. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DC MDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and use our website each day by visiting DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
I've always loved being a realtor because to me, it's more than a job. It's something that gives me an incredible sense of helping others. And this year in particular, when so many people we've helped had to move rather than wanted to move, it gave me an even greater sense of purpose. Whatever the reason for someone's move, from a career relocation to simply needing to downsize, it has truly been super rewarding and a privilege to be able to assist our clients through all the steps of their journeys. Though it hasn't always been easy, we've learned new ways of navigating the home buying and selling process. So whether you need to say goodbye to your current home or are looking for a new house to start the next chapter of your life in, the Kristi Neidhardt Team is here to work with you and for you, because truly we are all in this together.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You work hard for your money. Is your money working hard for you? Managing and investing, it can be confusing. Ann Alsina, a financial planner from CovingtonAlsina, has been helping people make sense of it all for over 17 years. Are you ready? Now here's your Monday Money Report.
This is Ann Alsina of CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report. The S&P 500 set another all-time high last week. Investors followed the Fed's lead and believed inflation will be transitory. One of the key measures of inflation rose again, but by less than expected. All major U.S. banks passed their stress tests as well. As we think about investing, many people also consider their personal values and the societal impact different companies have. It's important to remember that for-profit corporations are formed for the benefit of their shareholders. They exist to take the capital that has been invested in them and provide a return on that investment to their owners, which may be an individual with a small business or tens of thousands of individuals with a large publicly traded company. Over the past few years, some investors have chosen to tailor their portfolios for ESG, environmental, social, and governance goals, looking beyond just the financial return on investment. Traditionally, we have done this with screens, meaning we choose not to own investments that violate our values. For smaller investors, we can use mutual funds that do not invest in alcohol, tobacco, gambling, or fossil fuels, to name a few. Some mutual funds are focused on faith-based screens, some on environmental, some are based on social justice concerns. For larger investors, we can screen out individual securities that do not align with certain values. The more recent trend is not to screen out companies that do not align with your values, but to look for and invest in companies that do align with your values, known as sustainable investing. For example, you may look for companies that have a diverse board of directors or hold certain environmental standards. You can also choose to invest in B corporations. A B Corp is a corporation that holds a second mandate beyond maximizing shareholder value. They may focus on an environmental or social mandate, not because it makes money, but because it does good. Some well-known B Corps include Patagonia and The Body Shop. Here in our office, we purchase hand sanitizer from Sierra Sage Herbs, a woman-owned B Corp in Colorado. The bigger question is how these investment decisions affect returns. The research is split on this. And recently, a former executive with a well-known ESG fund company claimed that these socially responsible investments are not resulting in any meaningful social impact. My personal thoughts are nuanced and investor-specific. If you have firmly held beliefs and are willing to accept the possibility of lower returns to align your portfolio with those beliefs, that can easily be accomplished. Others may choose to invest for maximum returns and then donate to nonprofits who are making an impact. One of my favorite easy wins is to hold savings at small community banks that lend to underserved communities. There are many ways to make an impact, and I encourage you to have this discussion with your advisor. This adds on to our action items of the past few weeks. If you've been tracking your spending and looked at your values, ask yourself if they align. If you really want to travel more or pay for your children's college, saving for that goal needs to be a fixed expense item. For many of us, we are fortunate enough that stopping at a coffee shop each morning isn't going to impact our ability to pay our electric bill or buy groceries. But that unconscious spending can mean we aren't reaching our more meaningful goals. Your action item this week is to align your spending with your values. We have more resources on our website at CovingtonAlsina.com and on our Facebook page. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA ICPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. CovingtonAlsina and Great Valley Advisor Group are separate entities from LPL Financial. All performance reference is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged. They may not be invested into directly. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. And if you don't have a financial advisor, come talk to us. This is Ann Alsina with CovingtonAlsina.
Cancer will touch everyone in some way at some point in time. In 2021, nearly 35,000 Marylanders will be diagnosed with some form of cancer. It's a diagnosis we all hope never to hear, but there is some encouraging news. The 5-year survival rate for all cancers has increased to nearly 70% in the past 50 years, and many cancers are treatable. From diagnosis through treatment, living with cancer is trying not only for the patient, but for family and loved ones as well. It's a team effort, and Wellness House is part of that team with free services and programs for children, teens, adults, patients, and families. Wellness House offers the strength and support needed so a cancer patient can focus on recovery and healing. Wellness is rising at Wellness House of Annapolis, where we are transforming health into wellness beyond a cancer diagnosis. To find out more about our programs or to support our mission, visit AnnapolisWellnessHouse.org.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.